Shalom everyone, this is Ms. Sambata, your science teacher. Make sure you watch the video in smaller chunks. Thank you for watching. So welcome 6th grade scientists. There are parts of the assignments you need to do at home, and then there are parts that you need to do at school. So it would say on your weekly Google Slides, and it will be labeled according to that Monday's day. So for example, this week's assignment starts on 8/17 or August 17. So it would say week of 8/17. And how do you get to that? I'm so glad you asked. First thing you would do is go to your courses and Schoology. Once you log in, you would go to science. But before that, I think I went ahead of myself. So log into my.Cherry Creek. Then you're going to click on My Productivity. Then you're going to click on Schoology, as it shows here, and click on week of 8/17. There will be a folder for each week. So, for example, if you're in Schoology already, you will click on courses, and yours is gonna look slightly different because you're gonna reflect all the courses you're in. So you're going to click, for example, if you're in my first science class, you're going to click on that, and you will see week of 8/17 folder. So click on that, and you will see the slides, which are the assignments, and the CFA, which are the weekly quiz. Okay, the slides are to be done at home. So when you click on it from your end, you need to click on, it will look slightly different. So click on My Documents and then click on Edit. Okay, once you do that, you should be able to see this Google slide that I'm actually showing you. Okay, and the first thing I want you to do is introduce yourself, because you're going to see this being available starting on Monday 8/17. So if you are one of those people who want to go ahead of time and want to work on it, you're welcome to do so. First thing I want you to do is, once you log into Schoology, click on the little mailbox sign and then click on New Message. Okay, so it would look like somewhat like this. Click on this little message, and then you're going to click on New Message. Okay, and what I would like for you to do is type in Sambeta. When you do that, my name will pop up. So don't pick the first one. This is me, Miss Sambeta. So you're gonna click on that. The subjects can be hello, because you're just greeting me. And what I want you to do on this is, as you can see here, go to your next slide. I want you to answer these 3 questions about yourself. So the writing here in red is sort of like a sentence starter I want you to use. So you can copy it by highlighting it first, and then you can right click on it and then copy it. And I want you to go to back to the Schoology page, and I want you to paste it. And so I would say, Miss Sambeta, you can say hello initially, obviously, or hi, and you can tell me who you are. My name is, and I would see your name, and you can tell me your name. So, and I want you to say one thing I want you to know about me, and I want you to complete this using your own sentence. So tell me, what is it, the one thing that you want to tell me in ahead of time, okay? And I want you to tell me, what is your goal for science this year? And not just for science, it could be about your own life or for school in general. I want you to tell me your goal. And I want you to tell me, how do you plan on accomplishing it? Can you try to tell me what you will be doing when you finish high school, or what you would like to do when you finish high school? And then you're going to click on Send. So that's the first thing you're going to do at home, is send me a quick message, okay? Then we're going to start working on science. Honestly, after this message, if you were struggling a bit and this took you more than 15 minutes, you're welcome to take a quick break. But otherwise, if you're up for it, let's go on. So every time when you come into my class, or every time a new lesson is introduced, there will be this thing called a thinking log, okay? Again, I'm going to give you one whole slide for the week. So don't go anywhere. All the assignments are done here, and then your test will be done, or your CFA or assessment will be done on Schoology. All right, so the thinking log, it tells you, it's asking you, what do you observe here in the GIF, okay? What is the first thing you notice? For example, you can write here and say, I observed that there is a peach fruit that is becoming rotten, or that is going bad, however you want to describe it. And I want you to tell me more observations. I put 2 options here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I only want you to make 2 observations. 2 is the minimum observation I expect you to do, and try to use the complete sentence to write down your observation. Now, as scientists, you are expected to ask questions always. Remember, if you don't know what a word means, you can always look it up, but if it is underlined, I usually try to define it on the bottom right here in the notes, as you can see. Okay, and then another thing I want to tell you is, anytime you see something blue, that's an instruction that is being communicated to you. So anything you need to do, I will write it in blue. Anything you have to answer will be done in red. So whenever you see red in our Google Slides, it means you have to answer a question. Okay, all right, so next slide. I want you to read here about how scientists make observation and educated guess. What is an observation? I'm glad you asked. On the bottom, it tells you what it means. Also, what is an educated guess? So I try to give you a kid-friendly definition here. So read that and then go back here, and I want you to read as much as possible. Now, one thing I want to tell you is, whenever you read a short paragraph like this, or maybe a full page text, I really want you to interact with the text. So the best part about Google Slide is that you can always make a comment to reminding you what you notice. So once you read this, what you can do is you can click on this little comment here, and then you can write down what you noticed, what question you may have, what it reminds you of, and I want you to jot it down right here. Any thought that comes to your mind you don't want to forget later on, I want you to write it down here, okay? This is telling me that you're actually interacting with the topic, okay? Next thing we're going to do is, you're going to watch this video. So you can click on the play sign right here, and you can make it bigger by clicking on this little sign, or you can click on escape and get out of it. But as you're watching, I want you to write down your observation here. You can always pause the video and write down, what are you noticing? What are you seeing? So for example, one of the things, I watched this video already, and as you watch this video, so let's say for example you're watching this video, I'm noticing that the man has a white tube. So I'm gonna write that down because that's the first thing I noticed. I noticed that a man is holding a tube, right? And then I'll continue play. I'll click on play, and I'll continue to watch and make my observation there. And I want you to list it as many observations as possible. And then I want you to predict, what do you think the inside of that mystery tube is like? So I want you to draw it out. Now, if you want to make this drawing online on Google, you can scroll down here, click on this video here, and learn how to do a drawing on Google. If not, you're welcome to draw it in your notebook, and then take a picture of it, and you can send me a message of it, or you can add it to this page. But I want you to think, how do you think the wires are connected? What does it look like? Do you think it's complicated? Do you think it's simple? What does it look like? What does the mystery tube look like in the center right here? And you will be creating a model here. So as you draw in there, I want you to create a model. So for example, I know one thing I like to do is I can add lines, arrows here. So I can say, I think this is connected here, and I can add another line and say, I think this is how they're connected. Or I can say, nope, that's not how it's, and then I can add more line and say, I think it's connected by like this. And so you can just add as many lines as you want, as you think they exist inside of the mystery tube, okay? Or you can make it wiggly, however you want. So if you want to draw a wiggle line, a curved line, you can do that too. And then you can say, oh, I think it's like this. So you can draw as you assume the mystery tube looks like inside, okay? Finally, I want you to explain in writing, why do you think your model or your diagram in the previous page is correct? So I want you to try to justify why you think your model here or your diagram is correct, okay? Finally, here, I want you to answer, why do you think, so you basically made an educated guess here about the mystery tube. And I want you to explain to me, why do you need to make an educated guess? And then when do we use a model? I want you to make, to answer these questions to the best of your ability. And I'll try to address this as well in class once you make your educated guess here. Okay, now that we have been working hard, please take a break. I want you to read this riddle and then try to answer it here. And hopefully you have taken your break already. I want you to take a guess. This is not graded, but it's just for you. It's gonna help you think. So just go ahead and answer this riddle here. And then I want you to move on to the next thing here. Alrighty, so next week, we'll be talking about science safety. So I kind of want to make sure that we have a little bit introduction here. So what do you, again, thinking log, right? Every time we start a new thing, we always have a thinking log. And I want you to write down, what do you observe? So 2 is the minimum. Remember, you can make more observation. Remember, if you made like 4 or 5 observation, you can always change the font here, make it smaller, so that you can add as many observation as possible, okay? And I want you to watch this video, okay? And I want you to enjoy this video, but I also want you to think about, okay, even though we may not be doing that many labs this year because of the social distancing we're supposed to practice, I want you to think about, what do you think a science lab safety should include? And I want you to think about all of that, okay? And this next section can be done at home. However, this week I would like for you to wait for me and work on it with me. But if you're gonna stay at home, please go ahead and do so at home. All right, so we're going to be working on the thinking log. I want you to hear, usually we have a gift, but this time around, I just want you to choose 2 adjectives that describe you. For example, me, I am kind and I'm strict. So what are some 2 words that describe you? Okay, and here's a short story about who I am, where I came from, and I will describe this more in person. I have 2 major expectations, and I want you to watch this video to get what the 2 expectations are. Here it says read, right? Read this segment real quick. This is what is expected of you when you enter the classroom. After you read this, can you explain it using your own words? Okay? And then exit procedures, which is how you leave the classroom, right? And you can use your own words to explain what that exit procedure is. Take a break, breathe, and try to answer this question, this riddle. By the way, I didn't tell you ahead of time because I wanted you to make a guess, but all the answers for the riddle are here in the notes. You just gotta scroll down to get to the answer. So if you keep scrolling down, you'll get the answer there. Alrighty, and so I want you to read this section And I want you to tell me, what does respect mean to you? I want you to write it down here. You can also give example from your personal life. And I also want you to talk about what it means to be honest. And I usually have quote for the week, so go ahead and read the quote. And I always say happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, and happy Friday. This is my week, my daily routine, because every day we ought to enjoy our days. And this week, the quote is, your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have. What do you think that means? If you can, try to write down what it means. What do you think it means right there in the notes section? Now, every week we also have a part where you have to work with your parents. It could be you explaining something to your parents, or you showing them a paperwork they need to sign. For example, this week, you need to show them the safety contract and a consent form, because without this, you cannot participate on any lab. For example, next week, we're going to do an activity. In 2 weeks, we're going to do an activity. You cannot participate in that until you get your parents to sign this. So click on this link, and when you click on it, this will open up. You need to answer every question that has a little asterisk, or see the little red star. You need to answer that. So you need to type your email, not my email, but your email. You need to type, for example, here, your parents have to read this, and they need to give you permission to watch YouTube videos that I'm sending and other websites that we use for education purposes. Your parents and you have to read the safety contract. This is very, very important. Now, since we cannot sign right here, I want you to sign your first and last name here, and then tell me which period you have me. Is it blue cohort, period 2 blue cohort, or gray cohort? I want you to choose that, and then I want you to submit it here, okay? And then the next thing you're going to do with your parents is you need to teach them about classroom expectation and what it means to make an educated guess. And then finally, by Monday, you need to have completed all the slides. So anywhere you see red, you need to have your answers in there. Any place you see red, right? And the blue means it tells you what to do, it's instruction, and red means you have to answer something there. Okay? Once you complete the slides, if you can click on submit, okay? And then there's a CFA and Schoology. So in Schoology, again, in this week's folder, there is a CFA, right? So click on that CFA, and there are 10 questions, but they're worth 4 points together. And you need to answer these questions to the best of your knowledge using the information on the Google Slides. Yes, you can use the Google Slides, all of them, including the ones that we did in class. And I want you to do your best. Finally, you're going to click on this, which is the weekly reflection. And when you click on this, you will see this. This is where you're gonna tell me, okay, did you really understand what was going on in the class? Where are you? So you get to pick one of these. Like, if you feel totally like you got it, great. If you feel lost, you're gonna click on this. If you're somewhere in the middle, you can pick one or the other. And then I want you to tell me what you understand, and I want you to tell me what is still confusing. So we will do this every week. So there are 3 things you will have to complete every week. Okay, first is the slides, second is the CFA on Schoology, and last but not least is the weekly reflection, which is here. And in order to answer the weekly reflection questions, please make sure you read the learning targets for the week. I think I skipped that. So you would watch this video here, and as you're watching the video, I want you to list all the things that you think should be included when using computer or Chromebook. Alrighty, and if you have any questions at all, every Monday I will send the link, and I'll post it also on Schoology. Every Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 8:50 a.m. I will be available directly. But even beyond that point, you can always send me a Schoology message. I check my email all the time, so please send me a message as soon as you feel like something is not clear. Don't wait until last minute. Thank you for watching.